Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Matt Lateplo, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for today's battery and precious metals presentations. Our next live presentation comes from CleanTech Lithium. Before I introduce our speaker, a few points to note. Please submit your questions in the question box to the left of the slides. If you are interested in scheduling a meeting with CleanTech Lithium, please click on the Meetings tab found on the left navigation bar. You'll be able to view the company's availability and submit a meeting request. On a final note, all of today's presentations will be recorded and available for 24/7 replay. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Aldo Boitano, Chief Executive Officer of CleanTech Lithium, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol CTLHF and on the AIM market under the symbol CTL. Welcome, Aldo.
Hi, very nice to meet you. First of all, my apologies. We had our CFO who's standing here presenting today, but because I was with fever and ill on Monday, but I'm a lot better. Sorry if I cough or if I sneeze a little bit, but very pleased and very happy to be here. CleanTech, we are aiming to be in the cleanest lithium producer of the world. We started in 2017. I'm one of the two co-founders. We have two highly prospective projects in the Andes, in the interior of Copiapó, in the southern tip of the lithium triangle. We're going to expand on that, and a greenfield project that we're about to drill. This is a snapshot of the company, what I was just telling you. We have more than 500 square kilometers of licenses areas. So far, we have 2 million tons of lithium as resources. We're drilling in both more developed sites, Laguna Verde and Francisco Basin, that you can see at the bottom of your screen, and we certainly will increase the resource. More importantly, out of those 2 million tons, 800 are indicated and measured. We have something very unique in the lithium industry. We control the complete basins. There's no competing lithium projects at the altitude we are with Laguna Verde and Francisco Basin at 4,400 meters. There's very limited flora and fauna, and there's no indigenous communities on site. They are 2 hours below us and 2,000 meters below, and we work with them on our ESG program and our community management program. We have a we'll go in the next slide, a very experienced management team and board that we're blessed to have with the knowledge on the renewable sector, energy, on the developing minings from start to being built, and the same with energy projects. We listed almost a year ago on AIM on March 17. We've raised 9.6 million pounds on the pre-IPO and an IPO funds, and then we had a further 12.3 in November. We're fully funded, but if the Yamará project requires more after the initial drilling, requires more raising. That was something that we'll do. Let's go to the next slide. This is what I was telling you about board and management. Steve Kessler, it's a doctor in hydrometallurgy, is our chairman. He developed from a startup into being the largest mine, the largest copper mine of the world, Escondida, and did the same for Collahuasi, the second largest copper mine of the world, and many other work in South Africa, Peru, and Africa. Myself, I developed 3 large renewable energy projects in northern Chile. And Gordon Stein, who is our CFO, he's much more than a CFO. He's a business developer. He does all the accounting and the finance and everything, but also it's an excellent spokesperson of the company and the detail of his work. Today, it's one of our milestones. We just got listed today on the OTC market with what we just mentioned, the CTL-FH. Jonathan Morley is another board. He sits in Jersey, and here's the experienced team with people in the brine sector. We have a very diverse group from various countries, and with more women than men, based on their capacities that we've been hiring them. Let's get again on the things we have done post IPO. We've worked on the environmental baselines of the projects. We released a month ago a scoping study of Laguna Verde with initial valuation of the company with one of the 2 projects, and that has helped the steady. And now all the PR we're doing has helped the steady growth of the stock over the last month, almost 2.5 times what it was a month ago. And we've made a successful application for Yamará project, and we've done, again, it's 344 square kilometers, the initial already approved application, and we're going to have some more. We have this lithium discovery at Francisco Basin with an excellent drilling campaign on the last season, 500,000 tons in Verde, a maiden resource at Francisco Basin, as I explained, and we're expanding and again and upgrading resources on Laguna Verde. That's what we did, and what we're doing now, it's like I said before, updating the resource. You'll have news fairly soon on the initial drilling results, and by mid-time of the year, updated YORCs on both properties, and a scoping study by Francisco Basin. We're starting the PFS with Verde Parson of Laguna Verde. We're setting up for drilling in Yamará, and we also have been producing initial lithium in our small pilot scale plant, and we aim to have it at mid-time of the year, producing 1 ton of lithium in our plant and send it to vendors so they know and they can anticipate when we go into production. And we've been holding a strategic partnership, an offtake agreement or major households, because we want to have fully developed the company closer to being to the initiation of the construction, de-risking the project with PFS for both larger projects, and then approach. We've been approached by companies, we have a data room and everything, but we really want to hold on till we have de-risked more the project. Again, aiming to be the cleanest lithium producer of the world with the combination of our technology, I'll explain a little bit later, and our use of renewable energy 24/7. The projects, let's dive into them. Laguna Verde is the most developed one. We drilled last season 4 wells, and now we're drilling 2. Well, we completed already LBO6, who's on the right center of your screen, and LBO5. We're going deeper of what we anticipated, and that's always great news to update the resource that we have, 1.5 million tons, 800 of them indicated and measured, and it can only go up in both categories, indicated and measured, and inferred. It's a very well done drilling season with a 13.5-inch well initially, and then cased in 8 inches with silica, thick silica, and slotted of 2.5 millimeters that really can preserve the geochemistry of what it's down there, and with a seal of the fresh water, so the samples we're collecting are not diluted. A lot of work on site with the baseline environmental lines. The PFS that is started in January, we're updating it right now with Verde Parsons. The scoping study again that gave evaluation of the company with all you have the data there, $1.85 billion. Let me just go. Francisco Basin, again, developing. We're working on 3 more wells and to expand significantly the 500,000 tons. I want to reiterate the importance of controlling the basins. The most important part is that you can really do and plan a re-injection of the spent brine once it goes through our very clean process. Not many people can do that. I mean, we're the only ones in the lithium triangle that can do that, and that's very important for us. And the size of these places, you have to be there and see that you're standing on, and you see a tiny campsite if you're standing on the drilling site, or vice versa. And then all the surrounding mountains and all this big basin is controlled with the direct mining licenses. We're going to have a JORC complaint, as I said, an updated JORC complaint report by mid-time of the year. Results will come up in the second quarter. And as Laguna Verde, scoping study, then PFS, hydrological model, everything. We're very recognized in the lithium triangle for putting the investors' money into the field and developing the projects. Yamará, it's a greenfield project. It's immense. On top of the 344 square kilometers, we're working to significantly add that, almost doubling that size. How we start a project on lithium, it's always the same type of work. We collect surface samples, we send it to accredited labs, we collect all the information on the basin done by authorities or universities on what's under the subsurface, and then we do geophysics where we try to find low resistivity or high conductivity. It's the same, and have a certainty of saline subsurface aquifer. That's what we're aiming to hit with initial reconnaissance drilling in the next month. And if that it's as we expect good news, we'll have to raise more money to be able to run that campaign. Our environmental credentials, again, is a combination of technology and renewable energy. Basically, direct lithium extraction, extract the lithium with an organic resin out of the brine, and then that spent brine can be re-injected back again, and you need a good hydrological model and to control the basin to be able to do that. You're not depleting the subsurface aquifer. There's no evaporation ponds. Instead of taking 325 days, the system of the evaporation ponds, it only takes hours. The recovery rate at the resin level is 95%. The overall process is 85%. That compares with evaporation ponds, so that is 40%, so it's double that. And it's much smaller footprint on the surface without the evaporation ponds. Lower capex too, as you don't have to build the evaporation ponds. It's a proven technology. Not only we're piloting, and we have already produced 1 kilo battery grade that we built certified, but they're producing some. Hombre Muerto here, you can see, has been producing lithium for many, many years, more than 2 decades, producing lithium with direct lithium extraction. Sorry for rubbing my eyes. It's my flu that is still kicking in. And 3 producing lakes in China with Sunresin, who is our partner. And we have other partners too to make it even cleaner. We're heavily undervalued. We're about $100 million company right now. But with 2 million resources, if you do that, the math is just 50. Other companies are 500. the value of the company divided by the resources is 10 times our valuation. And we're working on every, again, right thing to de-risk the project. We were approached by all the major DLE producers. We started early again in 2017. The DLE was not so prevalent as it is now. We tested with companies as Lilac in California, Lucid in Canada, Summit Nanotech in Canada, EnergyX in Texas, Arionics in France, and all of them had a black box solution. And Lilac offered us, just before cutting the deal with the Lake Resources, a similar deal with taking part of our equity in exchange of the piloting plan and a PFS by Hatch. And we turned it down because their so-called proven technology needed 24 months to develop. By then, we knew more with our partner Sunresin, who's not a black box technology, it's a traditional mining vendor who sells you the technology, the resin, and it leaves space for us to improve it with our own knowledge and other vendors. So we're very happy on the way we've been working on DLE, and we have, again, a small pilot unit, and we're going to upgrade it to a 1 ton per month around mid-time of the year. Chile is a great mining jurisdiction. There's a lot of infrastructure in place. There's within kilometers a substation in Francisco Basin. There's road cell phone coverage there. Laguna Verde is covered by the international highway, paved, and we're not far away for connecting into the grid, and again with the 24/7 connection. The port is right straight from the sites, and all of that has been part of a scoping study of Laguna Verde and be part of the scoping study of Francisco Basin. We do have an ambition to produce, again, the greenest battery-grade lithium for the electrical vehicle future. We really are creating and working on a safe workplace. We improving the environment that we operate in. We talked with the university. We're employing the graduated geologists of the Atacama University in Copiapó, the neighboring city. We're working with the university on enhancing their careers so that we could hire professionals from there. We have a very transparent sustainability and integrity. We're working with a major ESG consulting firm, and committed, just very committed to be carbon neutral, to be sustainable, to have a low footprint, and we think that this will move into a general sense that in the market. Again, reiterate, the reaction of the government will expand a little bit more how the Chilean government sees us, and again, our good corporate governance and an excellent board. Chile, I already said we'll talk. Chile is the second largest producer of lithium in the world, has the largest reserves. Again, it's a strong mining code and law, just as Canada and Australia. Has the highest income country in Latin America, great ratings. But most importantly, we've been talking to the authorities at the local level, with the governor, the mining regional director, etc. With the communities, with the university, and so on. It's been very well received, and also at the central level, the government has announced incentives for companies to invest. The Treasury Ministry has been saying since December, and said it again in January and February, that'll be a major announcement in Chile to move forward the lithium industry, and projects like us, with private sector being crucial for that. And not only that, they really like our green and ESG credentials. We're already working with the government on their pilot. In our pilot unit, we're going to be receiving some brines from other places to see if our technology, we think, could work for other salars. And again, the footprint, the positive feedback, it's all things that I think will impact positively the company. I don't know if we need to spend much time on lithium and all the changes in the world. We aim to serve the European market, but very, very importantly too, and today again it's a milestone with being listed in the OTC, the US and North America, especially with the Inflation Reduction Act and everything that is happening in the US government. We're the only country who has a free trade agreement with the US and is producing lithium, and that's part of the requirements of the Inflation Reduction Act. The demand has been growing, and not only growing, the production of clean lithium, it's very small. We've been very conservative in our scoping studies, using a price of $22,500 US dollars per ton, when now it's over 70, and it always hits new high marks. This is what I was mentioning. We really will fill in a small niche of clean lithium, and from Chile, with our copper and the renewable energy, hopefully can be an example for other projects to develop. There's been a lot of lithium deals, direct lithium extraction, where large companies are in a way certifying the use of the technology, like Rio Tinto, Standard Lithium, Ganfeng, Eramet, Vulcan. We've been approached to some of these companies who have been visiting our sites and accessing to some of our information. We're well positioned for production. We have a pilot, a small unit pilot. We're moving it to a larger 1 ton per month pilot, and then on the full commercial scale. It's modular, the growth, so we can start. We're aiming to start with full production at 20,000 tons per site, Laguna Verde and Francisco Basin, and Yamará, depends on what we find. But we could start also at 10,000 tons, and then grow modular, or even go over 20,000 if we keep updating the resources. The 1 kilo battery grade lithium that we produce with our own resin and technology was in excess of the 99.5 requirement for being battery grade, and we had low impurities. This was a German lab that certified, and Sun Resin is working in our neighborhood in Latin America, deploying pilot plants and projects. This is the path to production. We aim to be, again, Laguna Verde more advanced with everything I said, Francisco Basin catching up, and Yamará depends on the drilling results. We'll do the same path with York, resources, and then baselines on the environmental work, hydrogeological model, a scoping study, PFS, and everything that will de-risk that project too. Canaccord, for example, one of our 2 brokers with Daniel Fox Davis, has put our stock in 5.4, adding just Laguna Verde and Francisco Basin, and we're today is around 85 British cents. This is the path to production in Laguna Verde. Everything I said, the resource upgrades, the scoping study, the environmental impact outputs, the hydrogeological model, the results of the direct lithium extraction plant, all the engineering work, and many other things that we're doing. We're a staff of 24 people, plus all the contractors. We're in the ground, around 60 people working on various fronts and moving these projects forward. Again, not easy. Run 2 drilling campaigns, 400 meters in the high Andes, but we've successfully done for the second year. This is the roadmap to raise 400 capex in funding. We aim to, and if you have questions, Gordon Stein, our CFO, is listening. If you have questions of more detail on the funding and everything, but we think we can raise 3/4 of this with debt, and 100 million will get us in a path into production because of the cash flows and everything that we have projected and part of our own work and the scoping study. Again, we'll welcome questions after this. The invitation is to come into buying stock and being part of this adventure, this project, as we de-risk the project. And we value, and the market now is valuing that we're heavily undervalued. We aim to be producing in 2025, and the construction be producing early 2026 or late of 2025, producing with a proven direct lithium extraction technology, excellent infrastructure. We have all the rights to operate at this stage of the project, with mining rights, with drilling permits, with environmental approvals, and it will go on. And we hope very soon to have an announcement on that with the government, who's supportive, as it is the stakeholders. Large funds have been our major way of funding. We're improving the retail and with these meetings and in other markets, and the race of stock being traded daily has really grown. We're financed for growth all the way until the PFS stage, and we wait, but we're very all forward for a strategic partnership in a small minority scale to help us and take some of the upside, and again all the ESG focus. With that, I'll take with the questions. Let me go here. This is it. Okay. So can you speak to the infrastructure for your 3 projects? Yeah. Again, Francisco Basin, there's a close gold mine nearby. There's cell phone coverage. There's a substation within 1 kilometer with ample capacity to connect for the energy that we need. At 3/4 of the way to the project is paved, and then we have to come south in a very well-maintained road. And from there, we can take the processing lithium into port. Our CFO is very happy that there's not much infrastructure to build in our project. Laguna Verde is even better because it has an international highway paved in the highway way. It needs to construct a soterrated underground for environmental reasons. We want to do it like that electrical line. There's a couple of substations that we're analyzing which one will connect, one 56 kilometers, another 100 kilometers. And we don't have cell phone coverage there, but we have a Wi-Fi Starlink antenna. We're very well connected. And it's not unheard that the projects are at 4,400 meters. There are projects higher in Chile, and we'll operate year-round. And then Yamara, it sits at 1,000 meters, a 2-way international highway nearby. Places to lodge from 50 kilometers away, and just all the infrastructure of the world sits a little bit to the north west of SQM. What are the catalysts for reevaluation of CleanTech? Resource, as a second question, resource upgrade, all the engineering studies, another scoping study for Francisco Basin, the commencement of the PFS, approval of the environmental impact assessment, the 1 ton per month producing, the government final approval for the path to production. And at the same time, we're opening more and more markets, like today in North America with OTC and enhancing our presence in the world. Forbes just a couple of weeks ago declared that 5 stocks to watch in lithium this year, and we were there. What inspired you to include women in the leadership of your company? That's first of all, I'm an ambassador of a foundation known as Hay Mujeres that seeks to improve, to bring women on board at high executive levels. And but the truth of our story is we hire just on capacities. The traditional go out, put a post, receive bios, come down to a 3 people interview, and they've been selected. Women, that's the reason they've been selected. We aim to keep that, and it's just happening. It's happening. We're very pleased and happy of that. and hope to be a reference for the mining industry. The hydrogeologist, the operations manager, accounting, project control, security on ground, all of them are women. I'm probably forgetting other women in the organization. Are you eligible for the Let's Invest in Chile incentives? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are going to work with the government because they're going to update that. As I said, there will be an announcement on the government in March on lithium, and we're seeking ways to participate in the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act incentives. One provider is KMX, who comes at the very end of the process of lithium. We're working with them to integrate that, reduce the use of water, of energy, and they were in the White House 2 weeks ago and talked about us, and through them or by our ways, we'll try to go forward. Will you be attending any in-person conferences in the US or Canada? Yes, I leave next Monday night. I arrive 6 hours later in Miami for the Mines and Money conference. I'm signed to do 2 panels. We're booked with many people. Invite you to make meetings with us. And then we go to New York City to meet with more investors, led by our brokers, Canaccord and Fox Davis. And then I go to the PDAC show in Toronto. So yep, you'll see me the next 3 weeks a lot if you wanna meet us. And will it not be myself? Will be with our brokers, our CFO, and I'm happy to answer any question. Many. I don't know. I think I answered all the questions. Yep, I did. Thank you for participating. Thank you.